Let's face it, if you're here watching this video right now, you're sick and tired of your video conversion. I was in your shoes not long ago, but I discovered a product that changed everything for me. And I'm sure it'll solve your problem too. Please, watch the following video and then thank me after that.
Hey, I'm Cliff, and this is the absolute last of my secret stash software programs for video marketing that I'll be releasing. I struggled greatly on whether or not to release this. Originally, I had promised everyone that I would release my final secret software program that keeps me miles ahead of my competitors in the video marketing niche, and I regretted it from the moment I hit that send button. I've been completely dominating YouTube for years and years using these tools. Niche Pulse was the first of my secret stash tools that I released, and now I'm releasing my final tool in this series. It is by far the most powerful tool I have, and why I held it back from releasing it for so long. On its own, it gives me the power to rank for any keyword, no matter how competitive, and it allows me to do this on any niche for as many videos as I want. The software is called TubeAuthority, and in just a few minutes I'm going to do a video walkthrough just to show you how it goes. In a nutshell, what this software does is take a brand new YouTube account and skyrocket that account's authority in Google and YouTube to a point that most video marketers will never even be able to hope to achieve. As a direct result, the videos you release on that channel will receive juice from your account and also increase its own rank power index to levels that would astound the average marketer. For years, my competitors have contacted me asking me how I came out of nowhere and completely dominated a niche it took them years to penetrate. I'd never give them a clue. I'd just say, I don't know, lucky I guess. But in real life, it has nothing to do with luck. I simply use YouTube's own algorithm to my personal benefit. I reverse engineered what it took to take an account from nothing up into power channel status, and then I automated the process. So people who spent years building their channel easily fell by the wayside as I swarmed in and completely took the entire niche by storm. It didn't matter how many views they tossed at it, didn't matter how much social proof, nothing mattered. My video outranked theirs, and there's nothing they could do about it unless they knew exactly what I knew and then did exactly what I do. Now, what does it take for me to achieve this? I open my software before I go to bed at night. I set it to run. That's pretty much it. It takes anywhere from, 4 to 6 weeks, I was about to say, but I'm going to say more on average, 6 to 8 weeks for the power rank index to increase to a point that you truly have a valuable asset. And of course, that's just an average because it depends on the niche, the keywords, and the competition. Sometimes I can build one up in 4 weeks. Sometimes it might take 9 or 10. But it always works without fail. Let's face it, it's the software doing the work, not me. All I have to do is push a couple of buttons. So if you're ready to take your own video marketing abilities to levels you never dreamed of before, sit tight, let's open up the software and walk through the process so that you can see how easy it is to build high value, high authority YouTube accounts with almost no work on your side. Let's go ahead and walk through now how to use the TubeAuthority software. Obviously, for your keyword, you're going to enter that here. Now you enter your main niche keyword, like weight loss or lose weight. Keep it as a short tail, ultra competitive keyword. That's what you want. The stop after comment. Turning this on will cause the program to end after it has made its last comment for you. You can also use the feature to make the software just keep going and going until you stop it manually. It won't leave any comments, but it'll browse around, watch highly targeted videos in your niche, liking some, subscribing to some, thumbs up, and so on. And what this does is sends very strong signals to YouTube that you're highly interested in this specific niche. To do it, all you would have to do is set it to stop after comments, and then set the number of comments to 1, for example, but then set your comment odds to 0. This means it'll never make a comment, so it'll just keep on browsing and clicking around and watching videos and so on, just like a random person who's digging into a specific topic would do. The randomize between comment, reply, and both. This feature is only available in the Pro version. It's visible in the standard version, but it's disabled. This is an ultra powerful feature. Just like it says, when it decides to comment on a video, it might make a primary comment, or it might reply to someone else's comment, or it might do both. This is like human emulation on the highest scale. As far as the comments that are being posted, the Pro version allows you to include a custom comment, but the standard version doesn't. The comment box is visible in the standard version, but it's disabled and only works in the Pro version. The default comments that it posts have about a 99% topic accuracy rate. In other words, the comments it makes for you doesn't look like spam. In fact, they look so real that it's extremely common for other people to reply to your comment. It's common for the video owner to reach out to you via YouTube private conversations and so on. For Pro Edition users, you can add in your own comment, but the system is still going to protect you by placing its own comment in front of or on top of your custom comment so that you don't come across as a blatant spammer. The custom comment box also allows spin tags. In other words, you can use spin tags so that it uses multiple variations of your comment so that you aren't posting the exact same thing over and over. And this allows you to avoid being called a spammer. Now, for Pro users, well, here's what you would do. Click Tools and TubeAuthority Spin Tags. And what this is it's just a spin tags helper for people who are not familiar with working with spin tags. Now, this is available, this little helper, it's available in either edition, the Pro or the Standard, but again, it's only the Pro that you can actually use this in. Let me give you a quick example of using spin tags. I would take a little series of words. This is how I want to start my sentence, start my comment. So I've typed these out and I say, okay, well, spin tags that for me. Now it's properly formatted it to use. So now I've got my spin tags in for there. I'm going to give it a space. I'm going to use my spin tags tool again. Now I've spin tagged the second part of my sentence. I'm copying that. I'm just using Control C. Let me clear this and get it out of the way. I'm going to paste that in. Now I've got some URLs here. I'm going to go ahead and spin tags those. Give it a space. Paste it in. Now on these URLs, you may only have one thing that you're trying to promote or whatever, but you could still get multiple URLs by doing something as simple as going to those those shortener sites and running your domain through that so that you end up with multiple variations of URLs, but they're all still pointing to your domain. Let me go ahead and I'm going to put in the very last of my sentence. Now, what's going to happen with spin tags is it will take these things that's in here and randomly put them together to make you a coherent sentence. For example, whenever I post a comment, this one might say, take a moment to hit my page, then select one of these domains at random. Then it might say peace. Now the next one that it comments, it might say, want to visit my site, mosey on over to, it'll select a domain, say catch you later, Tater. Do you see what I mean? This makes it to where it's just going to continually, for as many comments as you have it do, it's going to continually make variations of whatever this comment is. Now I might mention that the software does not save your comment and spin tags for you. So if you use this and you like your message and you've put in a lot of work on your spin tags, well, then you're going to want to go ahead and save that yourself so that you can put it in the next time you want to use it. Now, number of comments right here, that's this setting right here. Never go over 5 or 6 per day on the same account. Doing so could get your account ghosted, meaning that you see your comments while you're logged in, but no one else ever sees them. However, an important note is that just because you don't see your comments on a video doesn't mean that your account is ghosted. A lot of people set their comments for moderation, so they won't be visible until that video owner approves it. So the comment may have, obviously went through just fine, but it's not going to be visible yet until that guy approves it. And there's no way to know up front. Say, for example, you set it to post 5 comments today, right? So we took this down and we told it we want to post 5 comments. Now, when you run it again tomorrow, when you open it up, it's going to have all this stuff saved, but go ahead and change it. On your next run, when you do it tomorrow, instead of doing 5 again, why not do 4? Or maybe even just do 3, or possibly go ahead and do 6, right? So my point is here is go ahead and randomize this each day, because every bit of randomization that we use as we run the software, each time we run the software, with the software's built-in randomization plus your own randomization, man, you are making this thing to where it is absolutely undetectable as a software. You get me? Now, let's say that you ran it for 5 today. And tomorrow you come back and you load it up and you want to do 4 more. Well, you wouldn't go and set this at 4, right? You already had 5. So if you want 4 more, you're going to go ahead and set this to 9, right? Because you want to keep a running count of these things, or you want the software to keep a running count. And the reason this is because the software is keeping track of your campaign completely. And that's so that it will never comment on the same video twice unless you choose to. And so this, it keeps you from being considered a spammer or even getting auto-flagged as a spam software user, right? So that's important. Another benefit to the fact that it's saving your campaign every time, so that, like say if the software crashes, we don't want that to happen, but if it did, then it would save your place to where the next time you open it, you haven't lost anything. You're not going to accidentally spam some video or nothing like that. And same thing with if your computer restarts on you. If you have automatic updates on your computer, well, that thing's likely to shut down on you at any time when you just don't happen to be there to stop it. So the fact that this saves all that information and reloads it for you, that's really going to keep you from getting any hot water anywhere. Now let's look at the odds. You've got comment, thumbs up, and subscribe odds. Basically, the lower you set these numbers, the longer it takes for the process to complete. In general, if you set your odds to 5, that means that each video that it visits, it has a 5 in 100 chance of taking that specific action. Now remember, you want it to take a long time to complete, because the longer it runs, the more human signals it sends to YouTube. And that's the goal. Of course, you don't want to go crazy with it. YouTube knows that a real person, isn't going to sit there active 24/7 on their account. So just play with things and learn the software so that you're running anywhere from 2 hours to 12 hours a day, and randomize that, right? Because if you change up how long you're running it each day, change up your odds each time you run the program, and then plus, again, like I mentioned earlier, it uses its own randomization. So combined with yours, you are just making it to where this cannot be detected as a software. They have no choice but to think that this is an actual human being sitting there, even though you're off doing other things, right? So it's very important. Now, your minimum and your maximum video delay. This is the random amount of time the program will spend per video visit just letting the video play, scrolling around like it's reading comments and looking at the thumbnails of the videos over on the side, and so on. You have lots of flexibility here. Those numbers represent seconds. So set your minimum and maximum time however you like. I tend to set my minimum time somewhere between 20 and 30 seconds, and I'll set my maximum time between 14 and 20 minutes. This way it seems like I'm letting the current video finish and watching some of the others that YouTube is auto-loading and playing for me. Again, it just adds to the humanization when you do it that way. If you have trouble converting seconds to minutes, I know I certainly do, you can just go and do a quick Google search for seconds to minutes calculator, and there'll be one pop up right there for you, so that you can get these settings really how you want them to be. Your minimum rank power index. This is huge and gives you 1,000 times more power than people out there just shooting in the dark. This is going to cause you to get ultra high, peer powered authority backlinks pointing back at your channel from high powered keyword targeted videos. That was a mouthful, but it is what it is. This puts your own channel authority acquisition process into hyperdrive. Now, I usually start mine out at around 40. Then after I've run through all of those and commented on all of the videos I can over the course of time, then I'll change it down to about 20 and I'll run back through again. So I end up with a good range of other authority videos backlinking to my channel. Now you may be thinking, well, why not just start it at 20 and run it to the finish, right? And I get that. The reason that I tend to break it in two is because, remember, we're using odds on our thumbs up and our subscribe as well. So what that's doing is, since I'm hitting a lot of the same videos, it's got another chance that it might subscribe or give a thumbs up. And if you think about it, if you go and you hit the thumbs up button after you've already thumbs upped it, then it causes that to go away. So again, this really adds to the humanization, because even if an actual YouTube person was sitting there looking at your history and how you acted, they're saying, okay, well, this person visited this video before and didn't give it a thumbs up, but then they came back later and they did. So yeah, they had something about the video stuck with them, so they came back and they did that. By the same token, it's the exact same. If you came there and, oh, this person was here earlier and he gave this a thumbs up, but now it looks like he's been looking more into this and he came back and doesn't believe it anymore, so he took his thumbs up away. Do you see what I mean? This is just giving you a beyond massive amount of flexibility. YouTube email and password, that's obvious, whatever account you're working on. Your Moz access ID and secret keys. In the tutorial page, I actually walk you through that and show you how to get free Moz credentials. So that's all covered that you'll put in here. Now, your proxies. This is important for you proxy users. Pay attention. I personally use instantproxies.com for this. If I'm going to be using proxies, they're the ones I use. But most of the time, you won't even need to use different proxies unless you plan to boost up the RPI authority on multiple YouTube accounts at the same time. In that case, keep a list of which proxies you're going to use with which YouTube account so that you can always use the same one over and over. Even though you can use proxies, it doesn't mean that this is a multi-threaded tool. In other words, only run one instance of the software on one computer at a time. So what I mean is, don't start the program and get it running and then start it again, putting in different information, a different proxy on the same machine. It's not going to work. So you just run one at a time on the one machine. Now, if you have multiple computers, then by all means, install the software on each one and use a different proxy on each one. And then that's how you would actually run multiple campaigns to increase the authority on your YouTube channels, on your various channels, all at the same time. You would do it on different computers while still using proxies. Now, these buttons here, the folder with an arrow on it is to open up previous campaigns that you've run. In other words, this will load some other campaign that you've ran previously. The one next to it, the magnifying glass with the bar chart, that one will open up the CSV file from any of your previous campaigns Sometimes it can take a while to open, so just be patient on that one. The question mark, this is obviously for the tutorial page. And this little orange guy right here, that's for you to check for updates manually anytime you want to. Acceptable videos, when this goes through, obviously it's going to filter out a lot of the videos that it finds because it only wants to mess around with really super high quality videos. So it's going to go ahead and show you that total number right there. I'll go ahead and cover these buttons even though I shouldn't. Run, obvious. Stop, obvious. Pause. Let's say you don't actually want to stop it and have to restart it. You just want it to pause for a while you do something else, whatever. Okay, well then click pause and it'll stop right there. And then as soon as you click unpause, it'll continue on from whatever exact point it was on when you paused it rather than starting all over like it would with the run button. The final display that this thing will give you once it finishes running your entire campaign. Don't take that report as the gospel. The screen is basically showing you what it intended to do. And it's pretty accurate most of the time, but it is inevitable that you'll find discrepancies because of failed attempts or video moderation settings or whatever. Now, overall, it gives you a pretty close approximation. It then saves this data into that CSV file that we talked about earlier that you can check out later. But again, don't take it as the gospel. All of your campaigns and data are stored into your My Documents folder. Let me just open this up and show you. Okay, it's in your My Documents. It's in a folder called TubeAuthority, and then whatever campaign you'll have. Every time you run the software with a different keyword, it creates a campaign folder for you. On this one, I did eye surgery recovery. There's 3 files in there. The settings, this is so that when you want to run this campaign later, that's what I showed you earlier. He's clicking the campaigns to reload it. This is all the settings, so it loads all that stuff back up for you. This is the CSV that it creates. In other words, on the final screen it gave you when it finished running, when the software finished running, well, it just, after you got through looking at it in the pretty way, it went ahead and saved all this into a CSV for you. And we already seen the button that you can go ahead and open that later as well. And then commented text. This file named commented, yours may not show the file extensions. It just depends on how you got your computer set up. So on yours, you might just see it say commented. But this file holds a list of videos that you've commented on that campaign, right? Now, as mentioned earlier, even it isn't going to be 100% accurate due to moderation. You know, it posted, but you can't see it because the user hasn't approved it or whatever, or other failures. But it's going to be pretty close. You'll always be pretty close on that. You know what? I'm going to leave this open. Let me give you a little extended information again. Now, let's say you ran your campaign to its end. You like the results that you had got out of it. So you decide, okay, well, I'm going to start over and I'm going to run this campaign again, but on a new account. I'm going to take another different YouTube account and I'm going to boost up its rank power index. You can either overwrite that account or you could delete the commented file in this. Just delete that file and then go load the campaign. And it's going to pull up all these settings for you. It's got everything you like you already had it. And then just change out your YouTube name and email and start it running. That's it. So now it's going to adjust that campaign to where it's running with these new credentials and you're able to post on all of those videos. And essentially what this is doing for you is it's just continuing on and it's adding to those results you saved on the other account so that you can easily track your activity on this specific keyword spanning across multiple accounts. I think you've had a pretty good walkthrough here, pretty thorough. Now you know exactly what the software does. You see it. So let's move on from here. All right, now you know the software exists. You've had the walkthrough and even got a full tutorial on it. And now you're at the point where it's time to make a buying decision. So let's get you into the highest level of video marketing so that you can really start just taking on those big players in your niche and walk away controlling some of the most valuable real estate on the web. Below this video, you'll see the buy buttons and of course other pertinent information about this software. Pricing, I don't use scarcity at all. Here's how my pricing works. I set the initial launch price at its lowest point. I do this to reward early adapters so that they get it at the lowest price it'll ever be sold for. After a few days up to a couple of weeks, I'll begin moving the price up in $100 increments, and I do that twice. And after that, I start including a monthly fee to the software in addition to the upfront price, and then I do another 2 price increases on those monthly fees. Once that's done, I don't increase the price anymore, it stays there. Now, I don't save copies until payday, I don't make special side deals, I don't sell it for a lower price once the price is increased. So if you look below this video, you'll be able to see the price. This is the lowest price you'll ever be able to get your hands on this software. Again, this is the very last of my secret stash video marketing tools that I'll be releasing in this series. You're facing a now or never situation, so you can keep doing what you've been doing, or you can give yourself the full final ultimate advantage in video marketing and start dominating and controlling entire high-level competitive niches on demand. So go ahead, check out the rest of the page and everything on it. It has importance, so go through it all carefully.
Thanks for watching the video, and I hope you got a lot from it. I hope to see you soon.